Yes, good evening all of you. So today in Angular 8, we are going to discuss the following topics. Okay. So today's topics are: what is the flow of execution of TypeScript program, .ts file, .js file, basics and fundamentals of TypeScript, steps for writing and executing TypeScript program, identifiers, keywords, comments, and what is object oriented programming in TypeScript. So these are some topics what we are going to discuss today in this session. Okay, right. So first of all, we'll understand what is the flow of execution of TypeScript program. Okay, right. So we'll understand flow of execution of TypeScript program. Okay, so for this I'm going to give you one diagram. So based on this diagram, I'm going to explain you in simple what is the flow of execution of TypeScript program. So first of all, we are going to write a TypeScript program. Okay, and after writing the TypeScript program, we are going to save that file as .tss extension. For example, welcome.ts. Okay, so this is what is our TypeScript file. So after writing and saving the file, we have to compile this file. Okay, so we have to compile the file, right? So when you compile the file and your file does not have any mistakes, we'll be getting a JavaScript file. Okay, so after compiling the file, if our file does not have any errors, we'll be getting a JavaScript file. So this TS file will be converted into JavaScript file. For example, it will be welcome.ts to JS. Okay, so this is how we'll be getting a JavaScript file, and here we have to do a small process, and that process we are going to call it as compiling. Okay, so we call it as compiling, or you can also call it as transpiling. Okay, we can also call it as transpiling. Compiling, transpiling, both are same here. We can also call it as transpiling. So transpiling means converting TypeScript file into JavaScript file. Right, fine. So for this we are having a transpiler. So transpiler is a piece of software, okay, which is installed with TypeScript in our system. So this is responsible for converting .js file into .ts file into .js file, TypeScript file into JavaScript file, right? And finally we have to run this file. Okay, so when you run this file, we'll be getting the output of the program. So when we run this file, JavaScript file, will be getting the output of the program finally. Okay, so output will be generated. Okay, so this is the basic flow of execution of a TypeScript program. So first we have to write and save the program with .tss extension. Okay, next we have to compile this. When we compile this, we'll be getting a JavaScript file. So when we run this JavaScript file, we'll be getting the output of the program. So this is the basic flow of execution of a TypeScript program. Is that fine, all of you? compiling, running to generate the output. Okay, right. The next, what is this ts file and what is this javascript file? Okay, so we'll understand on this ts file and javascript file. Okay, so .ts file, okay, so it is extension for TypeScript file. So it is extension for script file. .js file, extension for JavaScript file. So .ts file is extension for a TypeScript file. .js file is extension for JavaScript file. Okay, right. And next thing is that one important point: who will do compiling or who will do transpiling? Okay, so compiling or transpiling is done by Transpiler. Okay, so Transpiler is a piece of software, okay, a small piece of software which is responsible for converting .ts file into .js file. Okay, it is a small piece of software. So what it will do is it will convert .ts file into .js file. Okay, right. And next, finally, we have to run the JS file. So running the JS file is done by Node.js. Okay, so JS file is run by Node.js to give output. So Node.js is responsible for running your JavaScript file without any browser. So without any browser. Okay, and this output we can see this in the terminal itself. So terminal means our command prompt. So we can see the output in the command prompt only. Is it okay, all of you? So Node.js. So Node.js provides us a runtime environment. So Node.js provides runtime environment. So runtime environment means where we can execute our programs to generate the output, where we can run our application to see the output of our application. So that is getting done by Node.js. So Node.js provides us runtime environment for executing TypeScript programs. Okay, so that is why we have installed Node.js, and in Node.js we have installed TypeScript. Okay, so this is what is all about basic flow of execution of TypeScript program. .ts file, .js file, compiling or transpiling with the help of Transpiler. Okay, and running our JavaScript code without any browser using Node.js runtime environment. Okay, next. So next we'll understand what are the basics and fundamentals of TypeScript program. Right, so basically in TypeScript program we have the following entities. Okay, so we have the following entities. So entities means items, individual units. Entities means items or units. So basically in a TypeScript program we write comments, we write statements and expressions, we write variables, we write functions, and we also write modules. Okay, so these are basic 5 entities: comments, statements and expressions, variables, functions, and modules. So these are the 5 units, entities or units, where entities or items using which we write a TypeScript program. Okay, Right, now let us see one small program in Visual Studio Code for writing and executing, okay, a TypeScript program. Okay, so what I'm going to do is program. Okay, so in this program we will display a welcome message. We will display the welcome message in the program, right? So let us see that how to display the welcome message in the program. Right, so for this I'm going to take a Visual Studio Code. Okay, so Visual Studio Code is already opened in my system. Okay, and next in the Visual Studio Code I'm going to click on file, take a new file. Okay, so under this new file I'm going to take a variable var msg colon string. So var means variable, msg is the variable name, colon string, so the data type is string. So for this I'm going to give one value, something like hello students, semicolon. So semicolon is not compulsory, it is optional. Okay, at the end of the statement. And finally I'm going to use console.log and I'm going to print msg semicolon at the last. So this is my basic program with a variable and a message on the output screen or terminal or command prompt using console.log. So we'll save this program in our working directory g colon Angular online sessions TypeScript programs, and I'm going to give this as something like demo1.ts. Okay, save it. So once we save it, we can also see colors also changed. Okay, we can also see colors also changed. Right, now come to the terminal at the bottom. So we can open the terminal by using view menu and click on output or terminal. So terminal is already opened in my Visual Studio Code. Now the default directory in the terminal is C colon users office. So I'm going to change it to G colon change directory Angular online sessions. Enter. So simply say CLS. Okay, so once again I'm going to show you this terminal. I'll close this terminal. Okay, click on view, open terminal, select the terminal option. So it will go to G colon Angular online session. So type cd t. So no need to type completely TypeScript, just press the tab. You'll get the TypeScript file name or folder name completely. Just press the tab button. Enter. Again cd, you can say p and press the tab button. Programs will be displayed. And finally CLS, clear the screen. So from here I'm going to say something like TSC. The command for compiling is TSC followed by DE. Don't type the whole file name, just press the tab space. You will get demo1.ts. Enter. So if our program does not have any mistakes, then automatically .js file is generated. We can check that using dir. Okay, so we can see here demo1.js is generated for demo1.ts. Okay, so internally using transpilation process, okay, our TypeScript file is converted into JavaScript file. Okay, all of you, TypeScript file is successfully converted into JavaScript file. Now, in order to run a JavaScript file, we require a browser, but I'm going to do that directly from the terminal using Node.js runtime environment, which is already installed in my system. So simply say CLS and type node, okay, followed by, yeah, I will also discuss what happens if you have the errors also, followed by DE. Don't type everything, just press the tab space, demo1.js, okay, press enter. So we got hello students, okay. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one more variable, okay, something like var as something like a, okay, as something like number, okay. Right, and this number I'm going to initialize it to 10. Similarly, I'm going to take var b colon number data type 20, okay. And finally I'll say console.log a plus b, right, a plus b, right. So save this. Now simply come to the terminal at the bottom and say tsc demo1 dot ts, okay, right, okay. So on successful compilation, okay, you will be getting demo1.js. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say node demo1.js. So we can see the answer as hello students and 30. Is it okay all of you? A plus B as 30. Right, so here let us do some small error here. For example, if I remove semicolon after 10, after 20, nothing will happen, okay. So in TypeScript, end of a statement is new line. End of a statement is new line. If you don't give semicolon also, it will work. Now come to the terminal, say CLS, use up arrow, you will get the previous commands. Use up arrow, you will get the previous command. Combination of up arrow, down arrow will get the previous commands, okay. So tsc demo1.ts, no error. Similarly, up arrow, down arrow will get the previous command, node demo1.js. So we got the same output. So without semicolon also it is working successfully. Now let us make some mistake, okay. So what I will do is I'll take var a, okay, as something like directly 10. Let's see whether this is working or not, okay. Right, so simply come to the terminal, so simply say CLS, use up arrow to get the previous command. So compile it, so no error. So it is taking var a without data type also, okay. Next, node demo1.js, but still it is working. Why? So here we have one automatic feature in, okay, TypeScript known as type inferring, var a 10. So 10 is a numeric value, so automatically a will become number data type, okay. A will become number data type. So what I will do here, I'll make a small mistake here. The mistake is something like this, okay. I will remove this equal to symbol, I will save it. So automatically you can see here error is displayed in Visual Studio Code editor, okay. Right, now try to compile this from the terminal, CLS, use up arrow to get the previous command, okay. So we got an error var a 10, okay. So line 4 we got a error, okay. So this error is not allowing us to compile the TypeScript program. So it is also showing us error, something is expected here, something like comma or some identifier is expected here in line 4. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this as a colon number data type assignment 10 followed by semicolon. Save it, come to the terminal, CLS, use up arrow, you'll get the previous command, up arrow and down arrow to execute the previous commands. And finally we can see output is generated for our program. So hello students 30. Right. So this is how we write a basic program in TypeScript using Visual Studio Code for compiling and running. Okay. Right. So now let us understand what are the steps. So step 1, open Visual Studio Code IDE, type your program and save the program with .tss extension. Step 2, open command prompt or terminal in Visual Studio Code. Use the following command for compiling, tsc. So on successful compilation, we'll be getting, okay, demo1.js. So for running, we use the command node demo1.js to generate the output. So these are the basic 4 steps for writing, compiling, executing or running TypeScript program in a Visual Studio Code IDE. Right. So we can also compile multiple programs at a time. How? This is a command tsc demo1.ts comma demo2.ts comma demo3.ts. Okay, so separate it with comma. We can compile multiple programs at a time using tsc command. So tsc stands for transcript compiler command. tsc stands for transcript compiler command. Okay, so here note goes like this. tsc stands for TypeScript compiler. Okay, TypeScript compiler, and that TypeScript compiler is Transpiler. It is known as Transpiler. Right. So now we'll understand identifiers in TypeScript. Okay. So what do you mean by identifiers in TypeScript? So identifiers means identifying something uniquely in a program. Okay, identifying something uniquely in a program like variables. So in our previous program we had some variables, like we had message variable, we had a variable, b variable. Okay, so these are called as variables. So we can also write functions, we can also write classes, we can also write constructors, we can also create modules. Okay, so these are identifiers. So they are written uniquely in a program. So whenever you are writing these variables, functions, classes, constructors and modules, we follow 6 rules. So 6 rules for writing an identifier. So the first rule says that every identifier begins with a alphabet. Okay, every identifier begins with a alphabet, uppercase or lowercase. Okay, both are accepted, upper or lower. Next, no special characters in between except dollar or underscore. We can give special characters except, we cannot give any special character except dollar or underscore. Next, we should not use keywords. So what are those keywords? I'll tell you now in the next subtopic. Next, they should be unique in a program, means they should not be duplicates. We should not have duplicates, means we should not declare the same variable 2 times. we should not write same class two times. Okay, so that is what it says. Next, they are case sensitive. So case sensitive means if the variable is small a, you have to use it as small a only. If it is capital A, you have to use capital A only. Next, no spaces in between. Okay, and we have to use digits at the last. Okay, so we should not use spaces in the between, we should use digits at the last. So these are the 6 rules for our writing class name, variable name, function name, constructor name, etc. Begin with alphabets, no special characters, do not use keywords, should be unique, case sensitive, no spaces in between, but digits can be used at the last. Okay, so I'm going to follow all these rules to write a TypeScript program with identifiers. So for example, what are the TypeScript keywords? Okay, so keywords are special words or predefined words with special meaning and special usage in a program. So these are some keywords which are available in TypeScript. Okay, so we have break. Okay, we have case, var, we have module. Okay, we have public, finally, any, package, new, continue, as, if, number, typer, super, return keyword, extends, implements, try, do, any, throw, string, instance of, enum, while, this, true, yield, catch, switch, else, get, type of, void, new, false, let, function, constant, const. So these are predefined words or reserved words which have special meaning and special usage in a program. Okay, right? So for example, if you are writing any identifier, variable name, class name, we should not use these keywords. Okay, so to declare variables in the first program, I have used this keyword var. So var is a keyword. Okay, and I have declared you using number keyword, b value using number keyword. Okay, so like this, keywords are special usage in a program, and variables names, functions names, class names cannot be keywords. Should give other names apart from the keywords following the 6 rules of identifiers. Okay, so this is what is about keywords in TypeScript. Next, one important point in a program, whenever you are compiling, white spaces and lines are ignored, they are not used for compilation. And next, our TypeScript is a case sensitive language, semicolons are not compulsory. Okay, so when we are using multiple statements in a single line, then only we use semicolon. Otherwise, if you are using single statement in a single line, semicolon is not compulsory, right? And next, what is this console dot log? Okay, right, so here console means, okay, so what is this console? So console means, you can say, our output screen or terminal or command prompt. Okay, in Linux you can also call it as shell. Okay, so console means our output screen or terminal or command prompt or shell in Linux. Okay, right? And log, so log means display or put on console. Okay, so log means display or put on console. So when we say console.log, that data will be displayed on the output screen of your terminal, of your application. So this is what is some basics of TypeScript. Keywords, identifiers. Okay. Next we'll understand what are comments in TypeScript. So comments provide description of a program. Okay. So comments provide description of a program. Fine. And comments are ignored by compiler. So whenever you are writing some comments, comments are ignored. For example, we have single line comment using 2 forward slash. We have multi-line comment using forward slash star followed by star forward slash. So I'm just going to use this in Visual Studio Code for our previous program. At the beginning, I'm going to write one comment, something like program to display welcome message on console. Console means our output screen. So I'm writing this as a single line comment. So save this program, come to the terminal at the bottom, simply say CLS. Right, now compile this using tsc demo1.ts. So we did not get any error. Run it, node demo1.ts js. So we'll get the output. So comments provide description of a program. So what is the advantage of comments? Okay, so advantage of comments is easy understanding of program. Okay, so advantage of comments is easy understanding of program. So for example, if you give this program to any person and that person is trying to understand your program, if you have comments in the program, another person who is reading your program, they can understand easily. So that is what is all about comments. So comments provide description of a program, easy understanding of program. Right, so finally we'll understand today what is object oriented programming in TypeScript. So basically we say TypeScript is superscript of JavaScript. Yes or no? So JavaScript, some extra features, we have TypeScript. So one of that extra feature which is available in TypeScript is object oriented programming. Now what is this object oriented programming? So object oriented programming is a programming based on real life situations. Okay, it is a programming based on real life situation. So how things happen around us, those things we are going to put it as a program, and that program we are going to call it as object oriented programming. So real life situation in the form of computer program. Okay, or you can also say it as program with collection of objects and its methods. Program with collection of objects and its methods. This is a technical definition, but the general definition is programming based on real life situation. Okay, now what are those real life situations, okay, which are implemented in the form of program? First one, object. Okay, so object is nothing but end product used by the end user. So it has state, behavior, identity. So state means variables, behavior means function, identity means name of the object. Okay, so object is nothing but end product which is used by the end user, and every object has three things: state, behavior identity. For example, if you take a mobile phone, okay, so in mobile phone, okay, state. So state is nothing but your mobile phone features. Next, behavior is nothing but usage of mobile phone. So what is the usage of mobile phone? Calling, SMS, internet, etc. Using internet, etc. Next, what is the identity of your mobile phone? So identity means its name, something like Apple, iPhone, X. That is the identity of your mobile phone. So object. So in object oriented programming, every object has three things: state, behavior, identity. And in general, object is an end product which is used by customer. Next, class. Now what is this class? So class is nothing but a model or a prototype or a blueprint before creating a actual product. So before creating a end product, first we design a class. So class means model, prototype, blueprint, etc. before creating a actual object. Example, you can say house construction. Okay, so before constructing the house, we will have blueprint of the house. Okay, so blueprint is nothing but class. So we have the blueprint of the house. We take permission from the municipal corporation. After getting the permission, the house is constructed. The physical house is nothing but object, whereas the blueprint of the house, design of the house, which is done by civil engineer, is nothing but class. So every product in the market, what we are using, known as object, that object has class. Before the actual products comes into the market, engineers will develop a blueprint or a prototype or a model known as class. So for a single class, we have multiple objects. Next, what is this behavior? Methods, behavior or function. So methods means behavior of the project object or functionality or usage of the end products. Okay, so for example, if you take a mobile phone, calling is the behavior of the or methods or functionality of a cell phone. Accessing internet using Wi-Fi is the functionality of a mobile phone. Okay, so this is what is object oriented programming: objects, classes, and methods. These are the three basic things in object oriented programming, and we are going to discuss more about object oriented programming in the coming sessions. Now based on this, I'm going to write a small class with a method in a program, and I'm going to define the object to use those methods. Okay, so my program goes like this in the Visual Studio Code with a class, method, and its object. Okay, so I'll take a new file. I'll write here program to demo a class with method and its object. Right, so I'm going to define a class sample. Okay, so class opening, class closing, body or definition of a class. Inside this class, I'm going to take one method, display method. Okay, so the return type of this display method is void. Inside this display method, I'm going to say console.log as something like hello students. This is my message. Okay, right, and finally for this class I'm going to create the object at the bottom, something like var obj equal to new sample. Okay, and using this object I'm going to call the display method or display function. Right, I'll save this program. I'll take this as demo2.ts. Okay, right. So this is just a basic program for classes, objects, method. We have a separate chapter. Is it okay, all of you? This is just a basic program for classes, objects, method. We have a separate chapter. We are just writing the basic program. We are just understanding the fundamental. Is it okay, all of you? Right. So now I'm going to come to the terminal down. I'll say CLS here. I'll take TSC demo1, okay, demo2 dot ts. Compile this. Okay, so after compiling this, I'm going to run it. Node demo2.js. Okay, right? So we got the answer as hello students. So what did I do here? I have taken a small class here. In this class sample, I have a display method. Inside the display method, I'm displaying hello students. And for this class, I have created an object obj new sample, and using this object, I have called the display method. So it is displaying hello students, right? So this is what is all about writing a small program with a class, method, and its object. Okay, right. So this is what is all about today's session. So in today's session, we have understood flow of execution of TypeScript program, .ts file, .js files, basics and fundamentals of TypeScript, steps for writing and execution of TypeScript program, identifiers and 6 rules of identifiers, keywords, comments, and some basics of object-oriented programming in TypeScript. Right. So that is what is all about today's session, guys. If you have any doubts or queries, you can put those in the chat window one by one. Is it okay, all of you? Right. So I'll answer all your questions one by one.